sacked by German Bundesliga side Bayern Leverkusen in April. Earlier, we got reaction to the news from former Albion defender Adam Virgo.
I do believe that Tim Sherwood was the person that they would have wanted, but yeah, a fantastic appointment for the club, a fantastic player for Liverpool, and he did okay at Bayer Leverkusen, even though it didn't finish very well. He's been around the Amex, he's seen the training ground, and he said it's some of the best he's ever seen. So I think it'll be making for a good partnership, but this will be a manager that will need time, and probably a year just to get things right at the Albion, and maybe the season after will be the season that he really starts to shine and see the results for Brighton.
And here's our sports reporter John Lees with a bit more background on Hyypia's professional and personal life.
I think as a player, certainly he was marvellous. He was in that great line of great Liverpool centre-halves. Ron Yates was probably the first. Then we got the two pundits, Alan Hansen and Mark Lawrenson. They basically played together in the Liverpool back four. Jamie Carragher has been so good. Martin Skirtle now. Sami, anyway, he started out in Finland, played for 3 clubs there, went to Holland, massive career at Liverpool before going on to Bayer Leverkusen. It's in the genes, you know, because both of his parents played football. His mum was a goalkeeper.
Wow.
So there we are.
Okay, so we spoke to Mark Lawrenson during the week about the World Cup. He joins us again now. Morning, Mark.
Morning.
John Lees thought you were a good defender, so you've arrived, mate, finally.
All right.
Yeah.
Good memory.
Yeah, it was a while ago. So did we discuss Sami Hyypia the other day? I don't know if we did.
No.
So what do you make of this then?
I think it's a really clever appointment, and in fact, he's only 40 years of age. Already managed in the Bundesliga, already managed in the Champions League. He's a very approachable guy, and I think one of the most important things now with any manager of any club, you've got to be able to not just manage the team, your own staff. You've got to be able to manage up, chief executive and chairman. I think he'd be very good at that, and I think he's the kind of guy who will be very, very approachable in terms of the players, which is something you basically have to be. Nowadays, you cannot be standoffish whatsoever in this job anymore, and it's basically, you've got to sit players down, talk to them, and keep them informed all the time. It will take a little bit of time, but he won't have seen much Championship football. He'll be very sort of quickly watching all sorts of DVDs of Brighton in the last certainly the last season, so it will take a bit of time. But I think it's a very clever appointment actually by Tony Bloom.
Good. The fact that he got sacked from his last job, it doesn't really matter because every manager gets sacked eventually, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but also I think when you say that, you also have to factor in what exactly happened, which was the fact that they were slightly worried, Bayer Leverkusen, that they were going to miss out on qualifying for the Champions League. It wasn't so. You're talking about the Champions League, which is ultimately the best league in the world, bar none. So that's not a great problem. He had a little bit of bad run in it, but listen, he's got great experience. It'll be organised, especially after, as I say, we keep mentioning this league, the Bundesliga, but in German football, you know what it's like. It's all about organisation plus flair. He likes to play attacking football sometimes as well on the counter-attack. I don't see any great problem with what he's going to do at Brighton.
But some people I know that are Brighton fans said the last manager last year was a bit too sort of sedentary on the touchline. I think some of the fans want somebody who's going to get on the touchline and have a little bit of a rant up at their players. Is that what he does?
Do you know what? No, not really. But do you know what? If you're a player and your manager's consistently ranting at you, you don't listen.
Right.
You really seriously do not listen. The most important thing for a manager, I feel, is before the game preparation, obviously the 10 minutes before they go out, at half-time when you get them in and sit them down, and then obviously at the end in terms of you analyse the way that you play looking forward towards next week's game. But occasionally on the line, yes, if one or two are not at it, as it were, then you've got to absolutely let them know. And the substitutions is most important. But you know what? I see a lot of football, and you see all these managers up and down the line ranting and raving, and in the end, as a player, you just go, what the hell is he on about now? And you just completely switch off.
Right, so is it Hyppia or Hyypia?
Well, I've always known him at Liverpool as Hyppia, but it's one of those funny things. I played with this guy, you might have known him, Jan Molby at Liverpool. Now in Denmark, it was pronounced Molbu.
That's not right.
Well, but, he used to say, well, if I was in Denmark, it's Molbu, and he just said, I'm Molby.
Well, I kind of take it the lead from the commentators. I think every commentator I ever watched and heard say his name said Hyypia, so I'm going with that for now until he puts me right.
Right, okay. And by the way, if he puts you right, he's a big old boy.
Yeah, I think whatever he says, I'll just agree with.
Exactly.
But he played centre-back for Liverpool. You did as well. different eras, is that right?
Well, yeah, but you know the thing about him as well, and I think this should please the Seagulls fans, is the fact that when he was at Liverpool and he was about to leave, they offered him a coaching job. But I think it was the fact it wasn't long enough. I think he felt, and he had a chance to go to Leverkusen as player coach, which is obviously what he did, and went away to learn his trade. So already Liverpool had earmarked him as a future coach, stroke manager, eventually. So from Brighton's point of view, I think that's a good omen.
Laura, we've got Adrian Harms, our sports reporter, with us to a question.
Yeah, Mark, I mean, a lot of Championship managers are on the market, people like Chris Hughton, Brian McDermott. Do you think perhaps the Albion would have been tempted to have gone for one of those managers?
I think possibly, because obviously they've managed in the league. I just think they want to do something a little bit different. And listen, it's one of those, and I mean, I know Chris Hughton extremely well. I mean, Adam Virgo was saying before about Tim Sherwood, etc. You're gambling. You're always gambling when you appoint a new manager. I do feel though, and there's no bias or Liverpool bias in this, I think he'll do a really, really good job. And I think everybody at the football club, not just the playing staff, but everybody involved at the football club, will like Sami Hyypia and enjoy working for him, and therefore try and help him. Listen, it's like anything, you know, it's all judged on results, but I'm pretty sure that the chairman will help him in terms of bringing players in. Why wouldn't you, if you appoint somebody like Sami Hyypia, want to help him?
In the last 3 seasons, Mark, I think the manager of the sides who have gone up to the Championship, so 9 sides, they've all been managed by sort of UK managers who've got experience of the Championship. You know, people like Sean Dyche, people like Knight. Is that not really important, though, in who you bring into this?
Yeah, I think so. But, you know, what we're saying, that maybe next season Brighton might not quite sort of be promotion, might not make the playoff position. Then you're looking obviously with a year under your belt to the season after if you're Sami Hyypia. I don't think it's a massive problem. And as I said before, regardless of whoever you take, it's always a little bit of a gamble. Listen, they could have gone for Neil Warnock. He's arguably got the best promotion record of anybody in the lower leagues. But would you want Neil Warnock in charge of your team?
I don't know, is that a good or a bad thing? Let's leave that for now. You're above my pay grade now on this. Laura, we're at the Derby. We're on the finishing line at the Derby. Does this interest you today?
I'll be watching it later, but I've not backed or looked at the newspaper yet. I've just been taking my daughter to ballet, so hey.
This is the important stuff, isn't it, of the day? Great.
Exactly.
Thanks, Laura. Good to talk to you twice in a week. That's a bonus for us.
I'm coming out in a rash.
See you later.